Welcome back, traders. Going to do some more back testing. Just going to go ahead and jump straight into the chart. This is going to be the last week of August. We'll be back testing August 26th through the 30th of 2024. Right now, I have it set as August 23rd, just to take a look at the higher time frame. This is the daily chart. You can see we are moving away from the sell side. We went above this swing high, so potentially a market structure shift to the upside. And I'm targeting this weekly fair value gap. That's going to be the higher time frame fair value gap that I'm looking for. Currently, right now, we do have this daily fair value gap and these relative equal lows on the lower time frame. I think if there's any retracement, we could come back down into this fair value gap. I don't really want to see price go below it, but once we go in here, I want to see a rejection. I want to see it bounce up for the weekly fair value gap. All right, so this is Monday, August 26th, and taking a look at the 1 hour, you can see I have this old fair value gap on the 1 hour from last week. I'm just continuing to note it because you can see we used it as support before, and now it kind of looks like we're using it as support again. Also, there's this fair value gap that I'm noting here on the 1 hour that looked like it's used as resistance. So this could be enough to push us down for these relative equal lows, maybe back down into that daily fair value gap. Remember, there is buy side above here, so I will note this buy side. We could sweep it. There is the fair value gap right above it as well. Let's go ahead and duplicate this, and we'll change the color that way just to distinguish these two a little bit. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking. I'm not sure if I'm going to be bullish or bearish here, because we have sell side out here, we have buy side up here. We're kind of in the middle, right? We're at equilibrium between these two pools of liquidity. So I think Monday, maybe I'll just kind of be more patient, let price play out to see what it wants to do and kind of show me where price wants to go to. All right, so here's just before 9:30 pre-market. Not too much has happened. We did sweep below these lows down here. I'm noticing that we do have equal highs up here as well. And then I want to zoom out a little bit more to get a bigger picture here. And for the sell side, I guess we'll just mark out this nearby sell side here. We could go down here, but I don't really want us to go below this fair value gap. If we're going to remain bullish, we could sweep here and then perhaps look for the buy side above these relative equal highs. That's kind of going to be the short-term idea here going to Monday. I don't really see a big picture idea, so I'm going to have to be very nimble and just use small ranges for my trading today. So with that idea, 9:30, we did sweep the equal lows down here, and now we're kind of going up. There's no fair value gaps just yet, so want to be a little bit patient. See if we can create a small fair value gap here and have enough of a small risk in order to go for these relative equal highs. But you know, I kind of feel like we could just go straight up there and not take me in. I probably don't have a chance to get in on this trade. All right, so 10:15, instead of going up, we are continually going down. This is going to be the first fair value gap that's pretty big. And since it's already after 10 o'clock, I'm kind of inclined to think that this morning may be bearish. And let's go ahead and just zoom out a little bit onto the 1 hour. Yeah, it looks like we may be heading for this sell side, perhaps even those equal lows. Remember, if we go back out on the 1 hour, we do have equal lows all the way down here. So I think the sell side targets are going to be this one, and of course these are going to be the relative, and of course we also have that daily fair value gap that we'd be aiming for. So I think, yeah, we could go for a short here. If we get a retracement back up here, I could enter here with my stop at this high. That will give me what, like 50, actually quite a lot, man, probably like 60 points of risk. So don't really want to risk that much. Maybe I will enter on 50% of this fair value gap. I think this will give me what, maybe 50 or something. Let's go ahead and see here. So from 680 to about 730, 50 points of risk. I can do one contract probably. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. And with my stop up of here, and I'm looking for price to go lower. The only question is, I'm not sure if I want to just take it off completely on this. I mean, it will give me like maybe 1.5 to 1, which is pretty nice. But I got a feeling it could reach down here for these relative below. But with only one contract, I may just want to play it safe and take it off down here. So I think that's what I'm going to go ahead and do if we were able to get into this trade here. All right, and at 10:30, we went ahead and took out the sell side already. Didn't come back for me, so definitely no trade. But if you look a little bit closer, we have this smaller fair value gap. If you're willing to have, the wide risk, then you can go ahead and try to enter right here. You'll get tapped in, and it'll pretty much just go straight to the sell side targets like right away. But I'm not willing to take that wide of a risk, so I wanted the price to kind of retrace back up into this fair value gap. Just didn't happen, so gonna close out the trade. Not gonna do anything probably today. I think it's gonna go for these relative equal lows also, but we'll try and catch it if it starts reversing. Because if you look on the 1 hour, if you go to the, what am I doing here? Yeah, that's fine. 15 minutes is fine. So if you look here, these relative equal lows, I'm thinking that with Monday being the first day of the week, we're gonna drop down for these lows, perhaps even going to the daily fair value gap. That's going to be like the manipulative move this week. And after we clear out the sell side, then I think the rest of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to be heading up, perhaps for the buy side up here and up here, looking for this right here. Remember, this was a 1 hour fair value gap. And then, of course, above all this is a weekly fair value gap. So going to just try and be a little bit patient. Probably not going to touch anything today. So we'll see what the price action looks like. If there's an opportunity to get in, I'll let you guys know. All right, so after taking out those relative equal lows, we're kind of getting a little bit of a bounce here. Of course, I don't want to be taking the very first fair value gap. We do have one fair value gap and two fair value gaps, so it's looking a little promising here. If I want to, I could try to take a shot here. Let's see what the risk would be. If I have my entry here long, and I don't want to just put my stop, I guess I could just put stop here because we have a fair value gap here. And yeah, if I just have the stop down here, this is going to be, again, about 50 points of risk. So pretty big risk. Although we could have a pretty big move all the way up for these relative equal highs. So that's going to be a lot of risk to reward. Let's go ahead and just take a shot, I guess, with one contract. If you don't like this, maybe you want to wait for a confirmation fair value gap. If we do get a confirmation fair value gap, I'll see about trying to add into this position. I think we could reverse this big move down and go for these relative equal highs. So I'm going to go ahead and take a shot here, and I'll be very, very aggressive on trying to bring my stop up as soon as possible. All right, so it looks like I did get tapped in, and we are, hopefully this fair value gap will hold. It could come down to this lower fair value gap, but like I said, I really want to be aggressive on moving my stop up. I think this is a good time to do it because we can see that this little candle here wicked above the opening of this candle, right? So there is technically a change in the state of delivery. I don't really want price to go below here anymore. I'm just going to go ahead and move the break even. Hopefully we can start running away from it right now. There is a chance that we could go back into this fair value gap, but I'm betting on the fact that since we created this low here when we went to the fair value gap the first time, then when we went to the second time, we swept below this low. So hopefully right now it should start running away. And if not, at least I'll be break even. And like I said, I don't really like this in the first place. I'd much rather wait for a confirmation fair value gap. But I don't know, I guess I was feeling a little risky and I wanted to go ahead and take it. Maybe I shouldn't have done it, but hopefully it'll start running away, and let's go ahead and see how this trade pans out. Okay, so I was quickly stopped out, but at least I got stopped out break even, right? So, it's such a small amount. We'll just not even count this trade. Just won't even record it in the spreadsheet. Just gonna just nullify this. It was only like a 2-point whatever, so I'm not going to bother with it. I probably shouldn't even enter this in the first place, but just waiting right here. I want to see a second fair value gap. If I get a confirmation fair value gap, I'll definitely try and enter into that one. But right now, this consolidation, I'm not too happy with it because I don't want to spend too much time in this area. I pretty much just wanted to run away, although there is a chance that we could go for this low and go for this daily fair value gap. So again, not clear 50-50. I don't really want to be trading this. So I think with it being 11:30 as well, I'm just going to try to keep my hands off and just see how this plays out. All right, so if I would have held on to my trade, I would have gotten stopped out right here at 12 o'clock. But this is 12:15's morning action. Didn't really do much after taking out the sell side. It just kind of consolidated here, so nothing really much happened. And I didn't really see any opportunities to get in long or short for that. Anyways, so let's go ahead and take a look at the end of day. I'm thinking probably just more consolidation. Yeah, more consolidation here. And then I guess tomorrow, let's see what we have for liquidity tomorrow morning. All right, so August 27, Tuesday morning. Taking a look now, yesterday we went down here on the 1 hour, poked through the sell side a few times. I'm going to get rid of this. Sell side definitely going to be below the here. If we are going down, we could go through here and go into this daily fair value gap. I'm actually in favor of that, but not in the long term. I don't want to trade below this fair value gap, but taking out the sell side and tapping into this, that's a good setup for a bullish run above these highs, this high, and perhaps this high as well. The only thing we got to worry about is this fair value gap here. I'm going to close it. I don't really think it's too relevant anymore. And let's go ahead and duplicate this and show you this is the 1 hour fair value gap that I'm worried about, because this is a pretty large fair value gap. We've tapped into it once. I think we're going to use it for a move down lower and then later trade above it. And I want to see it turn into an inversion fair value gap. But now let's go ahead and go down to the lower time frame. This run up, I believe, already took out some buy side. And yeah, right here. Right here, if you can see that, it just barely poked above the buy side here. Now it could go deeper into this fair value gap, but this is already good enough. And then looking at the most recent price action here, we do have relatively equal highs, so it's getting a little concerning, but as long as this fair value gap is holding up and pushes lower, I think we're going to be moving down for the sell side. At least going to go down there first. There is a chance we want to sweep this, so again, it's kind of 50-50. I'm going to wait until probably see what 9:30 does, and we may not enter and trade until about 10 o'clock. All right, so far so good. It is a little bit after 9 o'clock, and we've taken out the sell side liquidity here. Remember, below us, there is still that daily fair value gap. We could tap into it, but because the sell side has been taken at 8:30 or close to 8:30, we swept below this low right here. We took out the sell side down here. We may even go for the sell side in this daily fair value gap. Now, like I was saying, because the sell side has been taken pre-market, we don't need to wait for another sweep of the sell side. That's already done on our criteria list. The next thing I want to see is I want to see displacement to the upside. Perhaps at 9:30 we'll get that displacement. So maybe poke down here and displace at 9:30, and then I will be willing to take the very first fair value gap on that. Okay, so it wasn't immediate, but it is 9:45 here. At 9:30, we chopped around a little bit, went down, and now we've tapped into it. Now, what I want to see a market structure shift above this high. I want to see a reversal. I want to see a change in state delivery. So pretty much this is good enough for me. We've also swept this low down here. So I want to go ahead and look at the market to see if it can take out this high and then give me a fair value gap to get in. I want to be aiming for these relative equal highs. And I believe there's a higher target, but this is definitely going to have to be the first partial. Okay, just like clockwork, we ran up above this high with a pretty large displacement. So can I take this very first fair value gap here? If this fair value gap remains intact, suppose I have my entry here, entry long, of course, with my stop loss. I'm going to put it here below this order block. I don't really want to see all this up movement retraced. If this is the case, then from 546 to, that's going to be 76 points of risk, which is way too much, honestly. What I can do is trade within this fair value gap. I think maybe if I put it here at the high of this body here, still going to be 53 points, but at least that's doable. So let's go ahead and give this a shot right here. This is also close to 50% of the fair value gap. Remember, this candle is not done forming, so this may not be 50%, but so this is the best I can go off of right now. So let's go ahead and give it a shot, just one contract, and we'll see if we get a confirmation fair value gap if it doesn't get us in. All right, so we did create a fair value gap. It was a little bit lower than what we saw before. And since it was so close to my original entry, I went ahead and just moved it up to the high of this fair value gap. Still have my risk here at the low of this order block. And I'm going to go in with one contract. And with one contract, you can see, let me scoot this over so you can see the price. Here, I think this is good, right? Okay. So with one contract, you can see I will be at a 0.83% risk, which is quite a lot for one contract. It is 56 points of risk. You can see normally it's going to be around 30 or 40 points, but I mean, I've done 50 points before. But yeah, let's go ahead and see if we get taken in, and we'll take a chance on this. If it does stop us out, hopefully we'll get a confirmation fair value gap to enter in, and of course I'll use 0.5% risk on that second trade. Of course, if it just starts moving away from me right away, there's nothing really I can do. I guess you could have tried playing this breaker right here, but I was looking for this fair value gap, never got tapped into. I think this trade may be done with. We'll see if it in the next few minutes if it's going to take out those relative equal highs. If this fair value gap remains intact, I guess you could try for it. So if so that trade down there is done. I don't want to see price going all the way down there now. But if I move my risk up to this fair value gap, let's see how much this will be. Going from 552 to still going to be pretty reasonable, but you know, with this being my first partial, it's going to give me less than 1-to-1, which is not ideal. I don't really want to take that. So I think I'm going to pass right now. So no trade right now. I'll wait to see if there's a confirmation fair value gap. And should we get above this fair value gap here on the 1 hour, I believe it was a 1 hour fair value gap. Yeah, if we get above here, remember, I want to see this used as inversion. And then if we use it as inversion, then perhaps I can try and get in long for a run above these highs over here. All right, and just a little bit before or after 10:30, this buy side has gotten tapped into. So of course, no trade in here, but we'll see if we can get above this fair value gap and use it as inversion. Okay, so that is it. 12:15, my time window is over. After taking out the buy side, it hung around this fair value gap for a little bit, went about 2/3 or 3/4 the way up there, and then it started coming back down to about equilibrium within the range here. And we'll see what the rest of the day looks like. See if there's anything we can do to set up for tomorrow. I would like to see price go above that fair value gap though, but it looks like it's just consolidating in the lower half. Although we do have relative equal highs, so this could be a nice liquidity pool for tomorrow if it still remains. So let's go ahead and take a look what Wednesday morning looks like. All right, guys, Wednesday morning, August 28th. I'm glad to see the relative equal highs remain intact. We actually, let's see, this is actually a triple top, so I'm glad to see that. We have sell side down here. This tap into the daily fair value gap is enough for me. I don't really want to see it come all the way down again. It could and still be bullish, but this is going to be the sell side that I'm looking for. I want to see a sweep of it and then start heading for these relative equal high. Be nice if we can get some big momentum, because if we get through this, I'm pretty confident we're going to go back up here. So I'm going to take this off, looking for the buy side up here if we can get through this 1 hour fair value gap. And before I start walking through, this drop down is already good enough for me on the sell side. Like we've taken the sell side down here, and if I just kind of move the time a little bit, you can see that we even took out the sell side over here from Asia's range yesterday. So, and I mean, Asia's range is technically down over here. If we do go all the way down there, we could sweep this low. But my point is that I think the sell side sweep is enough for me. If we start rallying here, like at 8:30 or maybe 9:30, that's already good enough for me. But I'm still keeping in mind that we could come down here. So just going to give it a little bit more time. Let's see what 8:30 looks like. Let's see what 9:30 looks like. All right, so just before 9:30, price started coming down. We took out the sell side below here. We're not trading above here just yet. I would like to see a shift in the market structure above this high before trying to take any longs, because this could just be coming up into this big drop as a retracement, perhaps tapping into this fair value gap one more time with this fair value gap right here on the lower time frame, and then come down for this sell side. So just going to be a little bit patient, let the market show me when it wants to start running up. All right, so at 9:30, we did come up to go above this swing high, although this is not really good enough for me because you can see this is a pretty big wick. There's no bodies closing above this fair value gap, no bodies closing above this swing high. So it kind of looks like it's just a stop hunt, taking out the buy side a little bit more before we head down for the sell side. So just going to wait maybe until 10 o'clock. Let's see if we can run down here and take the sell side. All right, I actually went down there very quickly. So now the sell side has been taken. It could go down a little bit more, but I'm looking for a fair value gap to the upside before even considering getting in. Yeah, just gonna wait a little bit more, 15 minutes until 10 o'clock. All right, so we hung around here below the sell side quite a bit. So you can see that this is kind of like a turtle soup here, consolidating a little bit, taking out the sell side liquidity. We have a fair value gap here, but you can see that we are going above it, potentially closing it in. If we close above this fair value gap, I think, okay, it's time to shift it up for the buy side. And I'll look for a fair value gap. I'll take the very first one if there's enough risk. Technically, this could be a fair value gap, but I don't want the small one. I want to see this candle and then the next candle create a fair value gap somewhere around here. Okay, so I was a little optimistic. Of course, I wanted to wait for that fair value gap. I didn't want to just take this very small one. It was not very significant to me. We actually went into this fair value gap, went through all this retracement here, or sorry, you see this wick here? We went into that wick and then dropped into this daily fair value gap. So there's a 1 hour fair value gap within it. We could tap into it, but I think this is it. I don't want to see price go below this daily fair value gap if I'm going to remain bullish. So from here, because it's 11 o'clock, I'm thinking the morning may just close here or maybe close somewhere in here. And perhaps the PM session will give us a move to the upside. If that's the case, that's really unfortunate. I'm not going to be looking at the PM session, but hopefully we find something or we just consolidate here until the next day. All right, guys, 12:15, my window of trading, it is over. And yeah, we went down into this fair value gap. You can see that we are kind of coming back up. Now we're using that 1 hour, perhaps potentially as inversion. Let's see what the afternoon looks like, and then let's move on to the next day, to Thursday. More consolidation after taking out this a little bit more, and we're just kind of consolidated within that daily fair value gap. So pretty up and down if you are to trade this day. It's not really ideal. Thankfully, I did not get into anything yet, so we'll just keep on waiting. So here's a quick view of the spreadsheet. You can see no trades this week so far. Last trade I did was the 21st. That was for a loss. So that was last week. But this week so far, no trades. It may be an entire week with no trades. Well, I mean, that's definitely possible. It is the last week of the month, so things may be kind of calming down. But let's go ahead and jump into the 1 hour. It is the 29th, so Thursday morning, 8 o'clock. So we were consolidating around here yesterday, but as you can see overnight, we've rallied all the way up. Now we are above this daily fair value gap. I think today we could be looking for a reversal to the upside, looking for these buy side relative equal highs, this buy side right here. And if it's really ambitious, we could even go for up here. But I think the primary target is just going to be these relative equal highs. And let's go ahead and start walking through today's action. All right, pre-market, very consolidating, nothing exciting. Buy side is up here on the short term, sell side down here. 9:30, we'll see what happens. I kind of want to see a sweep of the sell side one more time, but it doesn't have to do that. Just going to keep waiting until I see some kind of big displacement to tell me where price wants to go. All right, so at 9:30, we started rallying up. It didn't sweep the sell side here, but that's okay. I don't really care. We've traded into this daily fair value gap, and now we're leaving it. We're leaving it with displacement, so this is good for me. I just want to go ahead and perhaps look for an opportunity within here. If the risk is down here with my entry up here, that is way too much, 120 points. Of course, I'm not going to be going into this, but if we can somehow retrace back in here and give us a confirmation fair value gap, that's the key one to take. All right, so getting close to 1030, and I'm going to zoom in here. So we retrace back into this fair value gap. Now, if you went ahead and tried for this, like at 50% this fair value gap, you would have barely got in, you would have barely missed it here, but then it came back and tapped you in. You can see that the buy side has not been taken yet, but it's a little concerning that we only wicked into this fair value gap, and then the bodies are kind of staying in the lower half. But I got a feeling now that we've taken out the low here, this swing low, this could potentially be setting up for a fair value gap. And if that's the case, I would like to go ahead and take this one. So like for perhaps my entry somewhere here, and I have my risk down here. Or I can even have the risk down here at this order block, depending on how the structure looks like. But yeah, this would be about, man, still 70-point risk. But it is going to give me a lot of potential upside. So I would be willing to take it, just going to have to see what it actually looks like. All right, so here's the fair value gap. I'm going to go ahead and take a chance on it right here. Got my entry here at 596, 532, so about 64 points of risk. So only going to do one contract. I suppose I want to do two, right? But the spreadsheet's not really going to let me. You can see here with the account balance that with one contract and these entry and risk levels right here, 64 points of risk, quite a lot, but that's still going to put me under 1%. So I'm still allowed to do this. I'm going to go ahead and take a shot here. Now, I should, the smart thing is to take it off here at this first buy side. But if you kind of look at the hourly, we have Monday all the way up here. I think we can take out Monday's high. So that is something I could be looking for. You know, we dropped down for a low of the week on Wednesday, and now Thursday looks like we are reversing back above here. I think if we go above here, there's a good chance we can take out Monday's high. So kind of want Monday's high to be my target. But if we go above these relative equal highs, at the very least, you got to move your stop to break even, or even take a little bit off. With one contract, I can't take a partial, so I'm not sure. If I take it off here, it's going to give me about 100 points of reward, which is quite a lot. So let's see if I even get in, first of all. Maybe I'll just come down and stop me out right away. All right, so price did go up and didn't quite take those relative highs out just yet. It's kind of consolidating here. It's a little choppy. I have my stop down here. If I get stopped out, well, it is what it is, unfortunately. But hopefully this is good enough, and we're going to go for these relative equal highs. I kind of don't like how this got taken, but you know, those relative equal highs all the way back there, I think I can go for it. So let's go ahead and click through. And you know what? With price being with the time being very close to noon, I think I will take it off at the very first relative equal highs here. If we can get a push up through, you know, really consolidating here. It's really contracting, but let's go up. All right, this is what I like to see. If this fair value gap remains intact, because it's so close to my time window, it's already like after 12 o'clock. If this fair value gap remains intact, I want to move my stop loss up to here. It'll put me at least break even, net positive for about 20 points. But let's go ahead and see. I want this fair value gap to remain intact so bad. And I'm holding through a little bit after my time window. I think it can go ahead and take those relative equal highs. Going ahead and cut it off right there. My stop is break even, so definitely no loss for this trade. And let's see if we can get it in the next few minutes. Hopefully. Come on. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this would be another one of those instances where I pretty much I have my stop here. Gonna turn the charts off. I could have just taken it out. Looks like it may come and stop me out. My goodness, the consolidation is real. All right, so I did get stopped out. A little bit better than break even. It is what it is. At least I didn't lose any money, but let's go ahead and take a look at the end of day. Maybe it would have worked if I just kept my stop all the way down here. No, it would not. We created relative equal highs again, and now we're going back into this daily fair value gap. Maybe for one more dip before we head up. Not sure. We're going to have to take a look at Friday and see where the liquidity is. All right, so August 30th, Friday. Well, last trading day of the month. Now I want look at this. 1, 2, 3. It's a quadruple top. You know that the liquidity up there is really tasty looking. So now I'm looking at this 1 hour SIBI here. Looks like we may be trading above it. If we do, I want price to remain above it. I don't want price to come back down below it anymore. Now that we've dipped into this daily fair value gap one more time, you can see we remain in the upper half. So going down into the lower time frame, let's check out the 15-minute real quick. And going down, you can see right here, I was going to put sell side down here, but this little poke took out this sell side. So we kind of already had a sweep here, created a fair value gap, and went back down into it. And now it looks like we are leaving it. So don't really want price to come down here anymore. And let's go down to a 5-minute. Remember, I'm looking for price to go above this 1 hour fair value gap and pretty much just rally. Just give me a Friday rally into those quadruple top right there. So this fair value, see, okay, I don't really want to be just taking these randomly. I want to see price go above the 1 hour fair value gap, and especially time. I want to see what 8:30 and 9:30 looks like. If 8:30 looks like it's pretty good, like it comes down into here and give me a confirmation fair value gap, maybe 9:30 will give me the volatility that'll push me up for those relative equal highs. All right, so just before 9:30, 8:30, we did wick the high, then came down, took out this sell side, didn't go down below this low. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this out now. We're coming up to 9:30 here. We do have a small fair value gap. I think what I'd like to see is price come and sweep this low. Don't come down all the way there. Just sweep this low here. Give me a fair value gap, and then start pushing above this 1 hour SIBI that I'm looking for as inversion. If we do get that, then I think it's a good chance we could come up for this quadruple top. So that's definitely going to be the target that I'm looking for if we can get some kind of long setup. All right, so a little bit after 10 o'clock. So far, the opening range has been pretty choppy. We did come and take out the buy side. You can see right here, we took out the buy side. Then we came down and swept these sell side. Now we're kind of going up above the buy side one more time. No fair value gap per se. There is a small volume imbalance here, but I'm just going to keep waiting. I'm glad that we're going above this 1 hour fair value gap here. We even tapped onto the top of it. Maybe that is good enough for a reversal here. I want to see a small fair value gap with good risk to reward. All right, so the chop is continuing at 10:30. No fair value gaps yet, so just gonna keep waiting. With all this right here, all these relative equal lows, I have a very strong feeling that we're gonna go for these lows. So we're just waiting for this to get broken. Okay, so it finally taps into the sell side, but look at all this choppiness, right? Even if you go into like the 1 minute, I don't really think I want to be entering short. I don't really want to be trading in this condition. It's just way too choppy. You know, for my last video, I told you Fridays are those like weird choppy days. It's not going to be pleasant to trade, but hopefully we could get some kind of reversal from here. I want to see price go above all these down candles here. I want to basically see it go above this 1 hour fair value gap, go above here, and then we'll see if we can get a trade. Maybe I'll create a fair value gap, a confirmation fair value gap as it goes above here, and then I would like to see a retracement back into the confirmation fair value gap and enter on that one. But right now, just gonna wait. Just gonna wait on this Friday morning. Okay, all right, 12:15. I am done. This week we didn't do much at all. We had one attempted trade, but got stopped out for a partial in the green. Pretty boring weeks, you know. Sorry for the lack of trade, guys, but let's take a look at what the afternoon looks like. I'm still betting on the upside, but I'm not going to be here to take this trade in the afternoon. Like here, it went down and you have a market structure shift right here. Here you have another one where it swept this low, and you have another market structure shift. But like I said, not trading in the afternoon. Really not sure what all of this, like where it will be a good setup actually. Like now that I'm looking at it, maybe you can try here, but I wouldn't be super confident, right? Because I already took out the buy side here. Here, I guess you can try for this, but I don't like how it went through this balanced price range. Anyways, that's it for this backtesting session. Thank you guys so much for joining me once again. This is the end of August, so I am officially 2/3 of the way done with 2024. Only 1/3 left, 4 more months. Definitely can get through this, guys. I thank you guys for all the likes and subscribes. You know, it's really supported me and helped support me with this series and pushing me through it. But I guess until I see you guys next time, safe trading.